Happy Christmas, everybody. Evening. They've been pulling in the crowds for the last few weeks over the bridge at Kew Gardens and their Christmas lights. There are, however, plenty of alternative festive attractions in this part of town, and here's another. Irish are expecting their biggest crowd of the season so far, about to challenge the Premiership leaders. And here's Declan Kidney's selection for the Exiles' last home game of 2022. Kidney giving the job of leading the side in the absence of rested regular skipper Matt Rogerson to Wallaby Adam Coleman. He will form a hefty second row alliance with Api Ratuniuawa, while his compatriot Rob Simmons waits on the bench. Incidentally, it's a 6-2 split between forwards and backs on replacements row. Hooker Mike Valemsa gets a rare-ish Premiership start while Agustin Creve is suspended. Saracens bound Tom Parton's injured, so Ben Loader continues to give it a whirl from fullback, while Ollie Hassel-Collins will offer his usual threat on the wing. He and Max Malins, who was one of Saracens' reserves tonight, are the league's likeliest try scorers so far this season. We'll see Malins later on this evening, with Mark McCall opting to stick with Sean Maitland and former Irishman Alex Lewington on the wings. Alex Lazowski is suspended. That's prompted a bit of a backline reshuffle. Elliot Daly shifted into midfield. This is 50th game for the club. Alex Good is in at fullback. Up front, the headline selection, Nick Ezekwe, all set for his first game of the season after injury. His return, a timely one, with Maru Atoje, Callum Hunter-Hill, Theo McFarlane now all missing. Andy Christie brings plenty of his own, though, and slots into a pretty decent-looking back row. Ben.
It's a really interesting battle in the back fives for me, and you could pick out a lot of head-to-heads. Ratuniuawa against Ezekwe, they know a lot about each other from their Northampton days, but for me, the standout, we've already mentioned it pre-match, the battle of two young English number sevens. A lot of flair to the game. They do the basics of number seven play very well as well.
Yes, Ben. And there's a huge amount of quality in both sets of backline as the light show starts here at Brentford Community Stadium. But I can't wait to see Elliot Daly go up against Will Joseph, two exceptional players playing very well at the moment.
Ought to mention, by the way, that Jamie George not playing today, so Tom Wollstonecroft is involved, and somewhere down there as well in the away dressing room is the Argentinian Eduardo Becho. This will be a Premiership debut for the tight head prop, and one for Irish as well, their own Argentinian, another one of them, Ignacio Rios, the hooker, set for his first bow in the Gallagher Premiership. And a smiling Owen Farrell, captain again this evening. The league leaders reintroducing themselves to the Gallagher Premiership. It's been 40 days and 40 nights since their last game. You remember that impressive, unlikely comeback against Northampton in mid-November. Saracens somehow securing a 9th win in a row against Saints, despite being 22 points down heading into the final quarter. He certainly played his part. However, if they do it again here over the next couple of hours, a 10th Premiership win in a row would represent their best ever start to a season. And here's his start to the season. Nick Ezekwe. How good does this feel? First game in a Saracen shirt since the Premiership final. He's not played since England's summer tour to Australia, and he's back to face this crew in green and white, led out by a man who used to grace Wallaby green and gold. Adam Coleman leading out Irish on their big night out just before Christmas. Blimey, it's loud. This isn't Val Dunican, is it? Who's this? I'm not sure that's on
Nick Mullins thing you've ever said.
It's not on Declan Kidney's playlist. I'm sure there'll be somebody on Twitter who can tell me. I imagine that Bernard van Rensburg might be listening to this kind of high-octane stuff in the dressing room, and him. stepping out for their biggest night out of the season. North London neighbours in town, and Matthew Carley, actually 6 weeks away from blowing the whistle at the start of the Six Nations. We're heading into that part of the year. He'll look after Italy and France in Rome. Had an awful lot of rain in London overnight when we were waking up this morning, rattling the windows, but a drier afternoon, even a little bit of milky winter sunshine in this part of town, and it remains dry. Irish in the green and white, Saracens in the white shirts from the right in this first half. And their South African scrum half, Ivan van Sale, who started every Premiership game this season. Alan Davis on the bench though tonight, and that's a nice, confident early start for Ben Loader, getting his first run-outs at fullback for the best part of 3 years. Ollie Hoskins, or Oliver Hoskins, as he would like us to call him now. Will Joseph spreading the ball to Loader, and Hassel Collins immediately opening the jets, and Alex Good twinkling across to sweep up the danger.
It's a really nice play, just using an extra man, but the timing of the ball, have a look at Will Joseph, how he just sits on this ball, waits for the defence to pick, and then it's really good hands. This is a fantastic decision from Ben Loader to keep that ball in field. Hassel Collins does a great job, and they're into the 22, promising position.
Throw for Mike Willemse. Augustin Creevy in the middle of a 4-game ban for the red card here on the opening night of Europe against Montpellier, and he selects Api Ratuni-Rawawa.
One stop.
Ben White eager should Willemse decide that nothing is coming of this, and White takes the job himself. Bernard van Rensburg, South African, with a couple of tries in the win here against Sarries back in February, their first win against them for a long time, and they're pressing early on here with the big wheelbarrow. Ratuni-Rawawa, switch of sides, and White and Jackson and van Rensburg and Hassel Collins. As breezy a start as the pre-match music. Less than 2 minutes played, and Ollie Hassel Collins strikes first for Irish.
Really smart play. Saracens just don't number up properly down that blind side. All started with a failed drive, but they didn't worry. Hit up Van Rensburg in the middle. Another hit up around the corner. Saracens get a little bit narrow. All the heads looking back at the breakdown. Hassel Collins keeps the depth. A big shot comes in as he delivers the ball, and Farrell just tries to bide time for the cover. I think it's Lewington who almost steps out of the line to make that shot when he needed just to tread water a little bit and buy a bit of time. Farrell does his best, but in doing so, he's backtracking, misses the tackle, and looks a little bit shocked by the start, Owen Farrell.
You'll be wondering what role he might play in the Calcutta Cup at Twickenham.
Stay there.
Start of 2023.
Hopefully not the one they had last year.
No, it was, well, from a Scottish perspective, he will hope so. That was a bright debut, wasn't it? Off the bench, score a try, thanks very much, see you later. Ezekwe. Oh, it's been lost. However, Gareth Holsgrove was on his walkie-talkie.
Just played in the air. There's a bit of contact which dislodges the ball. Arm goes through Ezekwe's arms. Just plays the arm slightly, just does enough to take the hand off the ball. Right decision.
At what point is a good competition interfering? Because that's
when you
really
play the arm, not the ball.
Okay.
All right, step
So
out.
if he does that to the ball, it's fine.
We'll move them
Problem is, we see it in slow motion, it looks obvious. When you're up there, 12 foot off the ground, you're just putting your hand in the general direction of the ball.
Tom Wollstonecroft returned from injury during the European fortnight, now in for Jamie George in the Premiership, and picking out Andy Christie, who's in for Theo McFarland, and Daly again. Always rattling locks at the moment in midfield today. Maitland, the winger, popping up in midfield. Billy Vunipola gives it away to Earl.
It was a late tackle by Irish there, PK only.
Penalty advantage
by Green 8.
Green 8 is
whereabouts? Back on the 10?
Sotala Fa'aso'o.
Yeah.
Across towards the 15 on the other side, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah, okay,
Timo
play
is Rowan
advantage.
Oh, we're hearing that Irish are about to make a very early change.
Late
Will
tackle.
Joseph clearly injured.
Number 8.
Rory Jennings is
Late
going
tackle.
to come on. This is the late tackle from Fa'aso'o.
Yeah.
Is that full?
Too many arguments with that, is it?
Yeah, okay.
He's going to be asked lots of questions by Elliot Daly today. Number of Premiership defenders that Daly has beaten so far this
Just
season.
wait.
And here's confirmation of that early
Hang on,
changer.
time's up,
A
they're doing a
limping
replacement.
Will Joseph. That left ankle was heavily strapped, and that's a real shame for him. But Rory Jennings gets plenty of time to show us what he can do.
In the meantime, what an excellent kick. Bang on the 5-metre line. Couldn't have been better.
And Saracens with this very handy position, and Tom Wollstonecroft, Andy Christie going backwards, but in charge of what Irish are doing going forwards.
Response, Irish just need to edge it towards the touchline.
Maitland had it. Green shirt still working hard, amongst them the captain Adam Coleman. Wollstonecroft goes in to release it for Funsale. Here's Marco Riccioni. Billy Vunipola. Wollstonecroft. Christie. Oh, he goes on his own and nearly got through, got beyond Hoskins, but not Coleman. Irish defence on red alert here. Alex Lewington, the threat away to the right, but
Offside
at the moment
advantage.
the threat is a little bit more direct and closer to home, and Maitland scragged by Lucio Cinti, and there's the offside advantage.
Offside, hands in front of the back foot, number 8. You leant forward, put your hands in front.
Another penalty against him. A lot tougher this one.
Bad one.
Just
You
all
telling me he
hands
needs
to
a
the pump.
HIA? No? Okay.
Unfortunately, straying onto the grass in front of the goal line.
I think there might have been some fruity festive language in the middle of all that, for which we will apologise.
Off the line, guys.
Foot's just in front, and then the hand goes down as well. It's the right decision.
There's Wollstonecroft. Once of Irish.
Initial defence was good. This is good as well, this time in the air.
Deflected down by Ezekwe to Mako Vunipola, who was never really in control of the ball or his own ground. Billy Vunipola just steadies things a little. Funsale. Tizard. Hugh Tizard. Formerly employed across the bridge by Harlequins, first season as a Saracen. Again, Lewington providing the width away to the right, but it is to the left and to our side that Sarries came. Ben Earl couldn't hold on to it. He was heavily tackled by Ratuni Ruawa.
Okay, that's fine. Stay on side 7. All right, use it.
Nick Tompkins running back towards halfway, anticipating the kick. Now then, Hughes, Elliot Daly been busy early on.
He certainly has, and they've really used him as a focus of attention off first phase. We see this play here, Elliot Daly coming really hard. But have a look in the background, you've got Owen Farrell and Sean Maitland. They hit short, but look at the space it opens up. The first two, they've gone through the front door, but that back door option is absolutely available. You might see it now. Actually, they've gone to a 5-man now, got Mako and Billy out there.
Saw Joseph so slow to respond because of his ankle. It was a real danger, that's why he's been removed.
Tizard quickly into the arms of Funsale. Vunipola to Vunipola. Penalty's on the way. I think it was Fa'aso'o once again.
3 on the bounce, the big number 8.
We often talk about that, Ben, in terms of just collisions. When you win collisions, you put defenders on the wrong side, and it makes it very difficult to get yourself out of the way. For Arso, he doesn't win that collision, and it becomes so much harder for him to do anything apart from accumulate another penalty.
Sometimes we say about players that there's nothing they can do, they're trapped. You can't roll away. Often the support players will deliberately trap them in. He can move there. That's a really, really soft penalty. Just inviting, because apart from anything, by staying in there, even if he doesn't get penalised, he prevents the likes of Pearson being able to jackal, win the ball.
Generally enjoys himself against London Irish. He's averaging 15 points a game against them. Although this is notably his first match against them for 4.5 years. Oh, Owen Farrell's missed all this. He's missed scoring points against London Irish. First 3 of the evening. 15 minutes played. London Irish 7, Saracens 3.
That's the important field position for London Irish. They've looked really dangerous in Saracens' half. Pressure as soon as they're down in their own 22. Very well applied from Saracens.
Alex Good was there with the emergency bucket just in case Nick Ezekwe didn't gather that, and that is
we'll play on.
large, and Coleman is showing concern, and Wollstonecroft is down, and the tackler showed immediate contrition and concern for the tackle.
Probably best if we don't fight right now. Thank you.
It's a red. It's a red. It's a really serious red. Not his first as well, but
Matthew
clearly
Kitty,
badly injured.
foul play.
It's direct head
Foul
contact.
play check.
You won't get harder.
I'm going to show you the actions of 5 green. High tackle, direct contact.
Okay, so let's watch first and then establish the facts.
This is probably the most blatant one you'll see this season.
Adam Coleman was red carded in both games against Saracens last season. One of them in the end was rescinded. He appealed against it and he wasn't banned, but we think he's about to be shown a third in 3 games here.
Oof.
Yeah,
direct.
It shows that angle, that's fine.
It's huge power in it.
Okay, so it's clear contact with the shoulder to the head. The player is upright.
Yes.
And it's with high danger, so I'm not seeing any reason why this isn't a red card.
Agree.
Okay, number 5.
6'9", is he? No bend in the knees, and that's a real technique problem that he has, because
who's the captain
he's
now,
going to
guys?
get upright. He's going to be more upright than people because of his body shape, but he has to deal with that, because not only is it a huge cost to him and his team, but he's really injured someone.
When there's a player down
and
like
he was
this,
aware immediately, and we're seeing it now, that his first concern was for.
But we don't need to then start.
Was for poor Tom Wollstonecroft, and Adam Coleman has gone along just to offer what apology he can, but he knew as soon as he'd made the tackle that this was going to be the almost inevitable outcome, and you feel for Adam Coleman. The captain has not lasted a quarter of an hour.
I don't, Nick, because we have to get rid of. I mean, we've been talking about this for ages. Rightly so. We have to get rid of it from the game, and I know it's not going through his mind, I'm going to hit someone in the head, but you have to learn.
So what do you do if you're Adam Coleman? Go to, I don't know, Declan Danaher maybe, who's in charge of skills and breakdown, maybe Brad Davis, the defence coach, and say, listen, what do I need to do to get this tackle technique legal more often?
You have to commit to doing it, and I'll give you an example. Courtney Laws used to tackle differently to how he does now. Nothing to do with the high tackle and what's come in recently, but he was having problems with the way he tackled and injuring himself and his shoulders, and he changed the way he's tackling. Started to tackle a little bit lower, became that exocet low, and he worked really hard on it and became one of the best destructive low tacklers, changing from one of the high tacklers. it's a mindset thing that you have to change. But if you think that you can just, because when you're fatigued, the old habits come back. He's been playing rugby for what, probably near enough 20 years or whatever, maybe even more. The old habits, the ingrained, when you're fatigued and when everything's happening in front of you, you go back to what you've always done. And it'll take a real change in mindset from him and his coaches to change that, I think. And this might be the reason. This might be the reason, that the trigger that will do it.
It's a massive issue for London Irish. Their last 2 home games, they've had to go down to 14 men. It was Augustin Creevy against Montpellier. And now we've seen another one today. We often can find mitigation with some of these red card incidents. But with that one, when you are set so early, just the area which you're trying to target has to be infinitely lower than what we saw there. I don't think anyone's excused it. Adam Coleman accepted it and just walked off it. Of course it is the right decision, but for London Irish, they've now lost Will Joseph and they've only got 2 backs on the pitch, and they're now down to 7 men in the forwards as well. So they'll be scratching their heads as a coaching staff, because they've started really brightly. How can they manage the next 65 minutes of this game?
Just to say, by the way, that Capelli Pifoletti is the replacement hooker. He'll be on for Tom Wollstonecroft. If you're planning to settle down in front of the telly tomorrow, if that's how you're planning to spend your Christmas Eve, then how about Leicester and Gloucester from Welford Road on air 2:30, both sides playing for the Slater Cup for the first time. Ed's going to be there, reminding us all of MND, and what a strange night for Steve Borthwick. Ordinarily he'd have been at home preparing for that game, but here he is on his first night out in his new job,
new coat,
as new coat, yeah, got all the stash. Anyway, I'm sure that he will be at Welford Road anyway for Leicester Gloucester tomorrow. We will be there as well, and then a double header on December the 27th, a couple of days after Christmas. Should have been at Twickenham, but instead we are reverting to the Stoop for Quins against Bristol in the Allianz Premier 15s. First up, Sarah Hunter is our guest for that, and then Chris Robshaw will join us for Quins against Bristol in the Gallagher Premiership. Our afternoon double bill starts on BT Sport 1 at 1.
Nick, Ben, halfway through the season, who's been your player of the season so far? Just lump that on you.
Well, off the top of my head, I'll throw Theo McFarland into the bag immediately. And we ought to say, by the way, that Theo McFarland hurt himself training this week, and we're hearing it might be a serious injury. So if Theo's watching tonight, then we wish him all the best on his road back. But the memories, the impact that he has made on the Premiership over the first half of the season would bear consideration.
The risk of it being a complete lovey, and having highlighted how good he's been all season in the beginning of the show, I think Ben Earl's been fantastic again. Obviously, it's quite difficult to back up a Player of the Season award and continue in the same vein, and I think he has.
Tell you who else has been fun.
Who about you, Hugo?
Matteo Carreras. I'll throw that one at you.
Very good.
He's the only player on the planet with a better left foot than Messi. How good. Try the season every week.
How about you?
I'm glad you said Carreras. I think he's been really exciting, caught the eye. I think Caden Murley's been very, very good. I thought he was a form winger going into the autumn. He's obviously got a big game on the 27th against Bristol. Enjoyed watching him.
Actually, meantime, let's just point out the fact that you can see it for yourself, but Rob Simmons in conversation with Cornel Van Sale, Irish's forwards coach. So Rob Simmons, interestingly, is going to come on for So'atala Fa'aso'o, just, you'd imagine, Ben, to give them that extra line-out presence, maybe a bit more experience as well.
Weight on their own line when they're defending Saracens, experience, game intelligence, and replacing a guy that's been a penalty machine already for them, so probably quite wise. Sometimes you keep the extra back rower on to give you more around the field, more fitness in the tank, but you're going to have to scrummage in the second row anyway, so you take some of that away from far. So but I think it's taken a long time, this, and it's obviously being dealt with by the medics perfectly. If anyone deserves our sympathy, it's Tom Wollstonecroft with everything that he's been through, just come back.
Oh, yeah, this was first time in the Premiership for 3 months for Tom Wollstonecroft.
Waving to the crowd, Nick, which is obviously a good sign.
So Piffoletti on for the injured Tom Wollstonecroft. Adam Coleman red carded after just 15 minutes, and as a result of that, Irish have made a change in the pack. So Atala Fa'aso'o, their number 8, is off. And Rob Simmons, the 100-plus capped Wallaby, who only came back from his own injury over the last few weeks, is on.
Just tell us when he's in the tunnel, Mike.
Did we finish your best player of the season so far, Hughes?
No. I gave you a couple of options, but
I can't believe having thrown us in the spotlight with no prep.
No.
You're the only one who can't answer it.
I said Caden Burley.
Great chat, Hughes. Let's do it again sometime next year.
Were you voting for one and couldn't think of one? So I'll ask the lads.
Anyway, on we go. A lot of changes, a lot for both sides to digest. So good to see Nick Ezekwe back.
Just what you need from your 100-plus cap Wallaby, just coming straight off the bench and nicking the line out.
Tom Pearson.
Good decision here. You just wonder how much London Irish are going to tweak their game, just because they're going to have to protect the legs and the efficiency of how much they run and how much they're going to have to tackle. So kicking from deep, perhaps not playing as many phases in their half.
Good. To White, who's now part of a 14-man Irish lineup.
The Saracens score more points than anyone against 14 men.
Ben Loader colliding with Van Sale. No long-lasting damage done to Van Sale, but I think Loader might have hurt himself. Whether he's hurt his arm or his ribs, he's in a lot of trouble at the moment. And meantime, just flicked off the fingers, and Farrell picks it up, but it was a close one.
Very close.
Oof. Tad unlucky.
He's hurt himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, just looking down London Irish bench, Englefield's ready now. 6-2 bench.
Time off.
Losing Joseph so early on puts an enormous amount of pressure.
Yeah, well, he's right in the way, but
they want to do what's best for Loader.
we good?
Just took a bang to the ribs there.
Is
that him winded as much as anything?
It looks like it from the treatment.
Potentially, though, you can bruise your ribs,
and your lips.
Come on.
God, terrible when you bruise your lips.
Let's go. Bang.
You could bruise your lungs,
That's
is what I meant. Which, here he comes through, going for the charge down, doesn't see Van Zyl, doesn't manage to get out of the way. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Huge collision, but just the elbow there, maybe, of Van Zyl goes into it.
Crouch.
His libs.
Fine.
Now, what are Irish doing with this scrum here? Well, they don't have to worry about it because Sarries, in their eagerness, have given away the free kick, and Irish happy just to wallop it long. Maitland to Good.
Line up on the assistant. No, they're not.
Willemse. And new man Simmons quickly back Jackson. Van Rensburg played his part in the first and only try of the match so far. Ollie Hassel-Collins giving Irish a lead after a couple of minutes. Owen Farrell's penalty has narrowed the gap, but the big talking point, the red card for Adam Coleman and the subsequent retirement of Tom Wollstonecroft. Ooh, Simmons beautifully away to Hassel-Collins and Jackson sprinting. And then Van Rensburg, Hassel-Collins and Pearson was on hand, and Simmons goes in and clears bodies, notably Tizard's penalty Irish.
6 on the wrong side.
That had a little bit of momentum and a little bit of zip about it.
Well, the way in which they use that floating players, Ben Loader for Ollie Hassel-Collins' try, and it's Ollie Hassel-Collins. This is so nice, out to the back, non-looking, really good comms. But then just the angles and the options which are taken, continuity, keeping it alive, no one dying with it. And when you put that amount of pressure and you get that fluidity, you're also putting pressure on the defence and their decision-making. But this is lovely to see, especially keeping that ambition down to 14 men. We know what they're about. When they're at it, they're very good.
Van Rensburg for all his physical prowess, he's a tidy footballer, isn't he?
He's allowed.
Quality.
Reads Jackson, knows he's going to run out of room, makes the decision for him early so he can see him, but then he's aware of where that transition between the slower defenders are on the inside, and a quick set of hands just keeps that move alive.
Premiership's top 2 and 2 of the bottom 3 all getting their Christmas fixture out of the way early tonight. Newcastle and Sale kicked off at the same time as us. Newcastle 3rd bottom, Sale 2nd top. Paddy Jackson to restore a 7-point Irish lead. 20 minutes gone. London Irish 10, Saracens 3. Let's have a chat with Les Kiss. Goodness me, Les, you've got a lot on your plate at the moment. Let's clear up the red card first. I assume no quibbles from your perspective.
No, unfortunately. I thought we were going pretty well with that 8-man pack at the time, but look, that's what it is. We've had to sacrifice the back row and get our second rowers on to be able to play our players.
Just give us a sense of the nub of the discussion that you and Declan would have and the other coaches when you lose a man like your captain, like Coleman, to a red card so early.
Well, we have automatic defensive structures to move into to make sure we can cover those things. Obviously, it does affect plays in terms of resourcing it well. So we just made sure that we can keep the boys calm, but stay direct. That's the key. Stay direct and don't overkick, because I think we can do some damage on the edge if we can keep ball in hand, even with 14.
Les, you may have just answered it, but unfortunately you had this experience against Montpellier. What lessons did you learn from that match when you went down to 14 men and lost a man in the forward pack that you'd like to see better tonight?
I think the main one was make sure our kicking's accurate, because it can be deadly, and I think we got caught out in the second half against Montpellier with that. But I think the big message we're trying to stay there is stay direct. When we run direct with good cleaners and getting the quick ball, we can still get some momentum in this game, so we must stay positive in that respect.
Les, can I ask you one more question? Hang on. Let's have a listen to this. Les, we're going to let you go. Thank you.
The way you're speaking to me, and then he's copying your behaviour is not acceptable. No. It's a conversation. Listen, it's not a conversation. You lead the way. You talk to me. The rest of your players stop. No. Listen. You lead the example. The rest of your players stop. That's the end of the conversation.
And the reason for that conversation, Benny, was off the back of the 2 10-metre marchbacks.
Penalty given. Little bit of pushing and shoving. Owen Farrell not happy with the penalty, made that known to the referee, made it known again. Referee did the right thing, marched him back 2 lots of 10, and still Saracens players saying things behind the referee's back, and he takes action.
Matthew Carley very strong and direct, likewise Lucio Cinti. Pearson hit by Billy Vunipola. Ratuni Uwawa. White. And Jackson flicks it away. Oh, that's been lost.
White, play on.
Gathered in by Ezekwe.
On his foot. Use it.
Marco Riccioni with the longish legs. Van Sale's kick. Jackson brings it back. Hassel Collins. Oh, Jackson got clobbered by Billy Vunipola, but officials seemed happy enough with it, but not the knock-on.
Paddy Jackson. He might have bruised limbs as well. Absolutely melted by Billy Vunipola.
Oof. Brilliant tackle.
Right, come on, yeah.
The burn's probably about the arm, and whether it was wrapped around him. It's an attempt to wrap it, in my opinion.
It's good tackle, good timing.
Nice and low as well. Going back to our previous conversation.
He'll come up, that's no problem. Control your own weight, please.
Actually, talking of things that have been good to see over the first half of the season, Billy Vunipola rediscovering his mojo. There's another.
Crouch!
On the inside.
Bind!
Get to 9. TP, get to 9 here.
Set!
1, 2, 3, swing.
So Irish having to make do with a 7-man pack, and they win the free kick. It's a ridiculous free kick for Saracens to give
don't
away.
often get the free kick going against the team putting in for an early shove, do you? No reason why you shouldn't, but just don't often see it.
Taken on initially by Juan Martin Gonzalez. Jackson, Van Rensburg, good. He's got Van Sale as the running exit option,
Still inside.
and then Farrell provides the kicking exit option. Loader. Hassel-Collins. Oh, just unstoppable. Gonzalez.
Off his foot, play on.
No, Christie was up quickly, legally, but couldn't gather it cleanly.
Matt Carley's been spot on today. People are booing because of that intercept. I thought it was play on. Ben Loader, Hassel-Collins, what a double up they are. Ben Loader backing himself, putting on Hassel-Collins into space. I'm still unsure as to how he beat so many defenders through traffic, but he has this incredible ability to be able to do that. I guess being tall, rangy and thick set through your legs really helps, and really good agility footwork, but he's not quite done. He wants to get the ball away. That level of continuity is becoming quite a problem for Saracens.
If only that had gone on the tip on from Gonzalez as well to Pearson. Could have really struggled, Darren Farrell.
One of his qualities as well, Hughes, is, and you were so good at this, is even when we're seeing the replays and we know which way he's going to go, you're still not entirely sure whether he's going to go right or left. The disguise that he has on that running is something else.
100%. I was having a conversation with a coach about this, but I think some people get reputational time. Because he's been so deadly, you can see his try-scoring record here. Was it just over a try every other game for London Irish? But because he's so big, because he's strong and he can offload, you have to sit and almost wait. But if you are reactive to a person that's travelling that amount of pace, who's that heavy, you're probably not going to win the contact.
I think the other thing, he stops, this sounds ridiculous, but he stops quicker than other people. So when he's at full tilt, he can almost wrong foot you.
White, interesting, chase over the top. Oh! My goodness, Jennings was chasing, Van Rensburg was chasing, the post wasn't helping, Alex Good kept his head.
What's going on in the scrums, Ben?
It's a concern, isn't it? Obviously, the last one, when they were free kick for going early, they would have fancied that they could put the pressure on their own ball and win a penalty to give them the field position, but she only just in discussion with Vunipola.
No, you can do it now. Are they ready? Yeah.
There's Saracen scrum coach Ian Peel.
Just asking for some consistency around it, saying when they're saying take the weight off, they're taking the weight off.
By the way, we talked about the games tonight, Newcastle and Sale at the same time as us. Exeter, Bath, Leicester, Gloucester tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Harlequins, Bristol on Tuesday, as we've mentioned. Kind of Christmas edition of the Premiership. Festive round 13 spread over 5 days, but this is the start of it. This is the eggnog, or whatever you drink to get your Christmas going. Ben's a lager top man, just in case you're wondering.
That's right.
Anything from us that we can help you with?
No. Just let me do my job and I'll come to you guys if I need you, all right?
It's a strangely ragged performance from Saracens so far. Paddy Jackson's making the pay, and Irish are doing brilliantly. A man light. Irish 13, Saracens 3.
It's a bizarre one, but not an unfamiliar one with Saracens. Elliot Daly said they haven't quite been on it, but they're still unbeaten. They have this incredible ability of just finding a way, which London Irish truly have to pay attention to, despite what the scoreline's currently saying.
Saracens somehow securing that 9th win in a row against Saints 40 days ago now. 22 points down they were heading into the final quarter, so anything is possible.
Another lost line out for Saracens. Simmons not getting dragged forward by the dummy, putting off the throw.
Good. Looked up, no easy way out.
Just really sensible. Pifoletti, come on, doesn't really want to throw long. He certainly doesn't when there's the threat of the jump going up. He can see that it's going to be contested, just puts a little bit too much on it.
Nine, are you in or out?
Willemse. Ezekwe was up challenging Rob Simmons, but Simmons got there first. He's
5 is legal.
he has made lots of positive impacts on this short-handed Irish side since coming on. Rory Jennings,
Maul,
who was on early for the injured Will Joseph, a limping Will Joseph.
Ball is available.
The referee, it's there.
Pearson.
Hang on. Stop.
Yeah, it's just
Just stay for a second.
Earl
just
getting
sit there.
up as the player
Stop
falls
the game.
into
I was
him.
worried about you. Just let them come and just double check, and we'll carry on. All right?
Well, that's good from Matthew Carley. Tom Pearson.
No, he did. I think he got hit in the head, so you just check him.
To tell him
he was
that
on
he
his
was
knees,
fine.
so I'm clearly no foul play, Kitty. All right?
However, Matthew Carley wants a second medical opinion.
That makes absolutely no difference. He's on his knees, and the player is bent as far as he can, and I think he hits it.
Matt.
Yeah.
He steps in, doesn't he, to tackle, but he does drop significantly.
No, I called it a maul, and then the ball became available. So we
Matt,
played
just
on
looking
rather
at
than...
this now.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's trying
I've
to
got
bend there, isn't
play
he?
by
Because-
White 7
that's
because
different.
he's not made any attempt to wrap.
His
He's tucked
knees.
his arm in.
Well, that's-
He's tucked his shoulder.
Okay, we'll check.
Timo
check.
wants to see about the wrap.
So my live decision is no foul play. I did have clear head contact with the player on his knees, with the player bent at his waist. So you're telling me that the arm on the inside is tucked?
Just looking for the tuck, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So Ben, if there is no wrap, does he lose all mitigation in this?
Yeah, because it's always foul play, but I think there will be mitigation, but it'll start higher.
Right arm.
Are we thinking this
See
might
the
be a
right
red?
arm there.
Okay, so it's
No,
making
because he's on
attempt
his
to
knees.
grasp.
I think that will be
Correct.
the mitigation. They'll
Okay.
drop it, but it could be a yellow. He's
So the question for
Earl's
us
on his
here,
knees, so
we do
Earl has
have
made
head
an attempt to
contact, we do
bend,
have
but
foul play.
he just
So
hasn't
the
wrapped that
question
arm
we got to
properly.
answer is the level of danger. So can we see it in full speed, please?
Yeah.
There won't be mitigation, so it's level of danger.
Rowan gets the TMO.
Okay, it's not a passive tackle, is it? And
No,
the player
I'm
is
seeing
moving
that.
forward into it.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, so we've got direct head contact
Agree.
with a tucked arm.
Yeah,
So we do have foul play. We have a player who's not passive and is moving forward into the tackle.
yeah,
Okay, so there's no reason for this to be anything but a red card.
yeah, agree with
Okay,
that.
Because you
Number
lose all
7.
mitigation.
7. You tucked your arm.
Ben Earl's first ever red
Head
card
contact, clear foul play.
in
He's
a
not
match
passive in the tackle, so it's
that's
a high
now
level of
had
danger.
2, and we've not played half an hour.
And people will be
There
saying
will be
that's
no
so
mitigation
different to
because it's always foul play because he hasn't made a legal attempt to tackle him.
perfectly summarised there from Matt Carley. I think Matt Carley has led this game with real authority. He's been very clear. And he's also, every decision is in keeping with the law. But people may disagree with it, but don't disagree with Matt Carley, disagree with the law. And that is very clear. If you're always illegal, you lose mitigation, it's a red.
I suppose I'm tempted to ask what Ben Earl could have done in that situation to avoid the red.
So it's been really well explained. He's got to wrap the arm. The problem that he's got, and I don't, you sound like I'm sort of giving him a softer time than I was Coleman, but the player's coming towards him and is almost, there's a lot of traffic in front of him, he can't see, and then he gets tackled and almost is tackled towards him. So the time to get your arm up maybe disappears from where you think it's going to be when you first start to make that tackle. Having said that, the referee's explained it. That's how the rules and the laws are implied at the moment, and actually really well taken by Saracens. No one argued it.
Paddy Jackson, 16-3. 10 minutes to half-time, it's 14 against 14.
I would say I don't entirely agree with that law because that was a complex situation, lots of moving bodies, dropping high, very hard to react, but
He couldn't have been lower as well. That's the harsh thing.
Him on his knees.
He's on his knees.
It feels totally different to Adam Coleman's, doesn't
Absolutely.
it? That's the debate.
Yes.
Player falling at speed. Earl getting back on his feet, almost hit by surprise to a degree.
The only thing and it's very easy to say from up here, nice cover. The only thing that maybe players have to get in their mind is you can only make a dominant tackle when you're absolutely sure now, because otherwise you run the risk of this happening now. We've also talked tonight about how much of a problem it is if you lose the collision and how that changed. So it's a really complex situation for players and coaches to go, well, what is the right way of doing it?
And that's why the law needs to reflect the complexity of those situations.
Bottom line, it was an illegal tackle, and it hit all the right points. Head high, illegal, with force, player off. Here goes Good and Maitland. Funsale, Christie, Farrell, Billy Vunipola, back to Farrell. Ezekwe offered himself behind Ezekwe. Daly with the clever kick. Van Rensburg happy to get it away, and Daly goes back, scoops it up like a digger, one-handed. Jennings. Game really opening up, as you'd expect. Van Rensburg. Oh, nicely done by Hoskins. Goodrick Clark, two props combining. Willemse, Jennings, Sinto. Tom Pearson. There's much noise around the GTech Stadium on Jackson very quickly, and Jackson taking an airborne ride at the moment. That was 10 on 10, and it was Farrell who came out on top.
Put your hands down, move away, come on. Put your hands down, move away. Lift up, they held you up as soon as Ollie.
The referee's calling more early on these choke tackles.
As soon as you joined, it became a maul, turnover.
But it's when a player loses the collision and is stationary that he's calling it. You can see lifted up there. Tizard's got him off the floor, nothing he can do. Goes down. And
yeah, it felt fair because the player's so compromised. It's a good response.
Just listen. I've spoken to them about how they behaved, and it was clearly unacceptable down there. Don't let your team creep into the same thing, okay? I'll talk to you. But we've got 2 or 3 players wanting to have conversations every time there's a decision made, okay?
That's fine. We're not a fan of that choke tackle, or are we? In essence, particularly when a player's going forward. The only thing I would like to see is the players that don't immediately aren't part of the thing going down. I don't want to see extra players jumping on top.
Making this stable over the mark, please.
See a player coming in there and almost trying to make sure that the ball doesn't come out.
Let's go, lads! Come on now.
It'll be really interesting when, like I said, the new directives come in with shot clocks trying to speed the game up. Just where the World Rugby start to look at that as a, can we keep the game going? Can we make the game more aerobic so there's less power collisions for the players, which is obviously the way it's going.
Irish conceding the penalty. Funsale with the advantage to Good. Oh, Lewington's lost it. Yeah, a whole raft of amendments. What do we call? We don't really call them changes, do we? Just call them underlining bits and pieces, like 60 seconds for a penalty kick, 90 seconds for a conversion. I think they've said 30 seconds to set a scrum up as well, just being a little bit brisker at the line now. Everything designed to stop the hanging around that we seem to be spending a lot of time doing over the first half of this season.
And these laws are already there. They've just been reintroduced, and as you said, underlined. I think this is just version 1, so there's been loads of research done into it. The average kick at goal is taking 75 seconds. That's not in the law. So this is all designed to speed the game up.
Shot clocks on the way as well, basketball style, coming to a Premiership ground near you soon. But Irish's line-out defence, Saracens line-out, Benny, giving us plenty of things to think about at the moment.
Fourth lost line-out for Saracens. Folletti. Just under a bit of pressure here.
If you're wondering, if you just joined us, why the USA international Capelli Pifoletti is on, it's because Tom Wollstonecroft took a very nasty hit to the head in the tackle that forced Adam Coleman's red card.
No, in the middle, please. Just stay where you are. Come up to a metre, guys.
Irish hooker
Stay
is
there.
Mike Willemse, part of the most efficient line-out operation in the Premiership before the game, 93%.
It's 100% tonight.
Van Rensburg, Pearson. That's
Ripped
stripped
by
away.
White.
Owen Farrell has it. Now Pearson trying to do
Away,
to
let it
Farrell
go.
what he partly did to Jackson, but Farrell gets that to the floor.
Use it. 9. Use
So the
it.
final 5 minutes of a very busy first 40, and Van Sale took his time. Willemse was on him. Ezekwe lays it back for Tizard.
Stay back, 9. It's taken in. Use
It's been
it.
one of those halves from Saracens,
No.
Hughes, where you'd love to know what the first 2 or 3 things are on Mark McCall's to-do list during the break, the things that they absolutely must address.
Set piece, win the collisions and stop the game breaking up like this.
Sinti finds Loader. Irish can go left or right.
Off a green foot, play on. Ball was
White
out.
goes
Ball was
left.
out.
Hassel Collins involved once more. Simmons lays it up to Hoskins.
He's got the
Two
ball.
Wallabies
First man
now,
on his
and
feet.
that's been stripped, and Mako Vunipola has it.
Billy Vunipola, brilliant
step back.
steal.
Wait here,
Farrell.
wait. Thank you.
Oh, that's a brilliant... Oh, is that not quite a 50-22?
It,
Might need checking.
50-22 is an option.
A
Where
bit of
is
help
it?
from
In
the
or out?
TMO. They're not 100% sure.
Okay, stay outside then.
I think it bounced inside the 22. Well,
Outside.
let's have a look.
It's great vision.
Hang on there. Hold him, Gareth.
Are we getting
That's
into
inside.
curvature of the
inside or
ball
outside?
over the line
Just checking
territory?
it, can't see from that.
Stand by for a million
Just hang on.
pictures on Twitter. Anyway,
It's not clear.
Not clear.
it's
okay,
not
we'll stay
clear.
with the on-field
Rowan Kitt
decision.
tells us. So it will be an Irish line-out.
Your throw. Play on. Let's go. Outside.
Ratunuawa.
That was taken back.
Pearson, that's
Hold
the scrum
green,
half,
hold.
walloped away by the scrum half, who is Ben White, and Maitland with Billy Vunipola not far away should he be needed. Takes on Hoskins. Ezekwe.
Oh, spiral!
Oh, Loader. Long time to think about that. And then Lewington was on him in a flash.
Did well. Lewington was right in his face as that ball's coming down.
Taken in. Use it. You put yourself in there.
Will Goodrick Clark standing still. And then penalty
Sealing off.
conceded.
They did this against Montpellier. Trying to manage the clock, absolutely spot
Head
on in
above your
terms
hips.
of what they're trying to do. But the practice of it, and it cost them, end up conceding a try just before the half and end up losing the match. They've just gifted Saracens a huge opportunity.
Refs are so hot, anything out of the ordinary when you're trying to run down the clock at the end of a game, but here, not wanting to go out of the 22 and concede. You see hands go to floor, clearly sealing off. You've got to be whiter than white in those circumstances.
So, a line-out that has not been a thing of beauty for Saracens. Need to get this one right. Pifoletti, Tizard up highest, brings it back down. Billy Vunipola has it. Smuggled back to Pifoletti. Rob Simmons trying to keep things strong and straight for Irish. Pifoletti's been told that they need to get on with it, and that's why the backs come in. Everybody's involved pretty much. Sarri's wheeling it round. Not quite. But not far away. Riccioni. It'll be Pifoletti to have a go next. Ratuni-Uawa tried to stop him, didn't do it well enough. And the USA test star, as Rory Jennings gets himself involved, has given Saracens a shaft of light before half-time, their first try.
Deal with your own players. Get off him.
Still going.
Let go of him. Let go of him.
They get there eventually. Bombarding the line and just slides past on the tackle, which allows him to get his right arm free and dots the ball down. A little bit of overzealous celebration, not appreciated by Jennings.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that, Matt.
Yeah, and then anything after that?
Just wondered if they were going to look at Owen Farrell, his clear out on Ben White at the ruck before,
after that.
and then holds Ben White on the floor so he can't get back into the defensive line.
We do have the try.
Was seen by the referee's assistant.
We had the behaviour of Saracens 16, so we can restart with a penalty, can't we, on the halfway line? Okay, just 1 second. Paddy, Owen. Paddy, the TMO will check off anything to do with the try in the background now. Yeah. So the try stands, but what happened afterwards from both teams was unacceptable, but it was started by your number 16 screaming in a player's face who was trapped on the floor, seen by the assistant and by the TMO. Okay. So you can have the conversion and the try, but we will restart with a penalty on the halfway line for the actions of your number 16. No, there is no question, that's that. Thank you.
Well, you don't see that every night of the week.
In the background, but we're
He's
on
not
field
being allowed to ask many questions tonight.
I don't think Matthew Carley's in the mood for a chat,
It's actually in. It's about 10 metres in.
He's handling all this brilliantly. He's got a lot on his plate. He's been given every excuse to actually lose control, but he's not, and he never.
It will be a penalty to London Irish for the restart, so you can set up if you want, guys.
The surface.
I've spoken to Owen. Number 16's behaviour.
I haven't got anything else at the moment.
No, that's fine. Thank you. That's right. Friday night.
Nothing on green from that white scrum half in the face of 23 green.
Time is up.
But we're okay. We're okay.
Continue because of the penalty that Irish will have on halfway once Farrell has taken his conversion. It's a very painful punch in the ribs for Irish to take. Again, just like Montpellier, they have conceded before the break.
Soft penalty. There's Farrell just clearing out Ben White. Takes him past and then just holds him on the floor. Ben White trying to get back up. Just lets go in time with the referee. His assistant helping out.
Yeah, Paddy.
Just doing enough to create that confusion, which then Pifoletti takes advantage of. But Irish will get a shot to reduce the 7 after Pifoletti's celebration.
Number 16.
First time Saracens have seen him for a couple of months, Capelli Pifoletti. And that much sooner than expected because of the horrible bang to the head that Tom Wollstonecroft took. If you are just joining us, aware that people are switching on all the time, Wollstonecroft tackled high by Adam Coleman, who was red carded for the 3rd time in as many games in this fixture after 15 minutes. Ben Earl was then shown a red card 15 minutes later, so it's 14 against 14, and Paddy Jackson with this penalty on halfway to draw Saracens 9 points clear at the break, or Irish 9 points clear at the break. He struck it really nicely. And Capelli Pifoletti may well have helped in the acquisition of 7 points, but he's cost his side 3. And a first half that took the best part of an hour to complete has Irish ahead at the end of it. London Irish 19, Saracens 10. Gallagher Premiership's only unbeaten record at the halfway point of this season is in peril. Saracens 9 points adrift as they try to secure what would be a 10th win in a row, and a record-breaking 10th win in a row from their perspective.
Fine.
Rob Simmons wins it for Irish, Ben.
Yeah, let it come back on the green side. Let it come back. There it is.
The London Irish support and the lifting pod doing a really good job making them go to floor. They can't drive it.
No changes to either side at half-time. There were bags of changes to both sides in the first half. We've talked of the red cards. Will Joseph, by the way, limped off for Irish. He was replaced by Rory Jennings. Capelli Pifoletti, who came on for Wollstonecroft, who was injured in the challenge from Coleman. Fun sale. Pifoletti. Tizard offered himself. Instead, it was behind him to Farrell. Lob over the top, one bounce, Irish through.
Tidy set from Saracens. They'd have wanted that kick to have either stayed in field or just go just a little bit deeper. But they'll be pleased their first line at this half was certainly secured by Nick Ezekwe.
Irish hooker Mike Valemsa. Aniston Creevy still serving his four-match ban.
Hold, Greens, hold!
Paddy Jackson, who has kicked his penalty goals so far and cleared his lines as well.
Yeah, not really. Kicked it back to where the original line-out was for London Irish. Would have wanted a little bit more on that.
Fun sale. Daly was doing a lot of that early on in the first half, coming flat to the line and really challenging through the middle and on the outside. Maitland did well under some pressure to hold on to that ball. Fun sale. Good scuttles backwards. Mako Vunipola really nicely held on to by Farrell, and here is good. Billy Vunipola. Lewington pressing hard. Capelli Pifoletti scoring the try just before half-time as Irish tried to wind down the clock. Irish with the penalty. Pearson comes up with it.
Yeah, it's a brilliant bit of play from Pearson, but so was the first couple of phases. You see what Saracens trying to do. Get the ball in motion. Elliot Daly probing through that. But look at the speed of that ball. Everything else now is them running sideways. Alex Good tries to drift on that pass, but Ben Loader really strong in that wider channel. This collision here from Pifoletti. Pearson hits and sticks, releases the player, gets on that, clamps on. A brilliant bit of defensive work. Not just the tackle, but also the technique on the floor.
Almost bounced off. I wonder if he hit the ball and it went through his chest. It was a big collision, and then they followed it up
there,
with a really good counter up to secure the ball.
Tom Pearson, by the way, back in harnessing a bit sooner than he and Irish had expected. Both happy that the hand that he injured didn't, in the end, need operating on. So here he is, a couple of days before Christmas. By the way, there was a late change to the Saracens bench, which we've not told you about. Duncan Taylor was due to start, but he pulled up with a tight hamstring in the warm-up. Josh Howlett has come on to take his place, but the catalogue of Duncan Taylor injuries just has another line added to it. I think he's estimated that he spent 40% of his career injured, and he will not play tonight as Irish wrestle hard for possession. Coleman ambitiously looking for Gonzalez, but instead it was taken on by Fonsale. So Billy Vunipola has it to his brother Mako, tumbling but driving towards the 22. Happy Ratuniruawa central to that defensive effort. Will Goodrick-Clark as well. Farrell. This is Christie. Nick Tompkins goes in with a shoulder to help clear things. Ezekwe back with us tonight in the Saracen shirt for the first time since the final at Twickenham in the summer. Pifoletti, Billy Vunipola. Hard-working Juan Martin Gonzalez. Chase the tackle. Farrell. Ratunuawa over it. Not quite quick enough. Tizard. Saracens just happy to keep things relatively straightforward at the moment. Keeping it tight. Maybe now the time to stretch it a little bit. Explore what might be doing in those 15-metre channels. Back they come again, though. And it's decent Irish defence.
A lot of phases for not much ground.
Christie.
But you watch London Irish in defence at the moment, the amount of two-man tackles that we're seeing. Hugh Tizard there tipping, 2 men there on the ball, so one person trying to hit, the other person trying to target the ball.
Billy Vunipola, lovely spin away, and then Daly kicked through. Oh, it's a difficult one for Sinti to take. He didn't gather it. Saracens did, Maitland did, Maitland scores. And Saracens with tries either side of half-time. Suddenly back in the bingo hall.
Well, a Christmas gift for Saracens, heartbreak for Sinti and his London Irish colleagues, because the defensive set had been so good. They forced Saracens to kick really just a speculative ball to try and put pressure on and maybe win a line out. And Sinti doesn't deal with it. The bounce just eludes him, and then the second attempt he can't get it. Maitland reacts the quickest. The try scored. That's a real body blow for London Irish.
That's a terrible mistake. It's not quite the same assist that Jamie De Bruyne gave Sean Maitland last week.
Yeah, that's a try.
Equally as effective. Sean Maitland poaching on that. Dotting it down.
Yeah, that try really was something else. In Lyon. This one maybe won't make quite so many highlights reels, but it's just as big for Sarries.
It's been your try of the season, Hugo.
Drawing the line between the ball and the post with his eyes. And the ball obliges. 7-point score and a big one for Maitland and Sarries.
It's a lovely try, but to answer your question, it would be Sean Maitland last week, Carreras against Northampton earlier on in the season. Ben?
That one.
Haven't got a great memory. I was about to say, before the try, London Irish doing so well at keeping bodies on the feet by the one player that going to the breakdown, fighting so hard that the Saracens were having to put extra bodies in to affect the clear out. Oh dear.
Oh, Billy Vunipola steals in. Ollie Hassel-Collins doing what he can. The chase for Lewington. The ball ricochets off the post, and Loader did well. Loader thinks he dots it down. Farrell's not sure.
Well, he does, but Farrell thinks he's dotted it down first.
I think Loader's dotted it down. This will be a 5-metre scrum.
To see what we got.
I mean, it's brilliantly read from Billy Vunipola, just poking his nose into that passing channel, and then it's just awareness. Where does he see it? Inspiration from Jamie George, Alex Lewington, Ben Loader, but it's Paddy Jackson who takes it over the try line. Kick back by Lewington. So this is taken over by London Irish. Nothing dotted down there. Kick back by Lewington, and I think it's Ben Loader's had forearm who gets it down. So it should be scrum to
It looks like it's played back by Green.
Played back by Green.
But I'm not sure if he gets it in goal. It hits the post.
Hits the post.
Then there's the white player's foot.
Oh, true.
He kicks the ball in goal.
Yeah, and it's touched by Green there.
Okay, so we got the white player putting the ball in goal with his foot. So it's a goal line dropout.
Goal line dropout.
Okay. Backwards off Green against the post. Put in goal by the white foot. Down by Green. Yeah.
Eagle-eye Carly.
Goal line dropout. Goal line dropout.
Again, for the benefit of you joining us at half-time, Matthew Carl is our referee this evening, Rowan Kip, TMO.
No, you've got to be behind the ball still.
Jackson stabs it towards halfway, where it's gathered by Alex Good. Farrell. Ooh, Farrell nearly through. Van Sale, Good. Billy Vunipola.
Good tackle from Jennings.
Pifoletti. Takes on Hoskins. Bernard van Rensburg just calling for one or two extra numbers out on his side, that right-hand side. In the end, he didn't need them because the kick through was gathered by Jackson and cleared by the fullback tonight, Ben Loader.
On the line, Green.
A lot cleaner, a lot more efficient. Paddy Jackson taking no chances, and Ben Loader with that big left boot. Clears them of danger for now. But Saracens are starting to get a lot of consecutive liners in around this region. You start to feel if they can get through those phases and get that quick ball.
Irish have spent the first 8-9 minutes of this second half defending. Saracens are chirpy. Farrell. Ezekwe. Scragged by Pearson. And Willems are over the top. Farrell swings it out. Taken on by Tompkins.
More. No, you can't go in
Juan
now.
Martin Gonzalez doing what he can to slow things down. Christie part of all that, and then Daly's kick not connecting in the way that he would have wanted it to, but he might get another go.
It's a knock on by Loader.
Yeah, okay, knock on by Green. We'll play advantage to White.
Christie flings it away. Simmons chases. Back we come.
A few nervy moments. Saracens probing with that boot, aren't they, at the minute? Elliot Daly just with that injection of pace. Ricochet. Ben Loader does his best Martinez impression, committing to that ball on the floor.
Well, Saracens making a change at scrum half.
Replacement.
Ivan van Sale, who started every Premiership game this season, making way for Aled Davis, who was injured early on at the start of it. This is just his second Premiership match and his first in 3 months. It's good to see him back.
Highly rate this guy. Tough fella.
Well, this is clearly a concern as well for Saracens, with, as Mark McCall was telling us before the match, so many injured second rows at the moment. They've just got Nick Ezekwe back. Don't need his ankle to go all dodgy on us.
He's testing his Achilles there.
Time on, scrum, white ball.
100th Premiership game, what? 4 months, 5 months after his 99?
Yeah, guys.
The losing final against Leicester.
Just what you want as well as a second row, having
stability. Don't put the ball in unless
got
it's
the most confidence in your
stable,
Achilles to go straight down for a scrum where all the weight and power is going through it. To test it out.
Now Saracens have put Nick Tompkins, the inside centre, into this attacking scrum to try to offset the loss of the red-carded Ben Earl a little.
Yeah, thank you. Use it!
Lewington.
Hey, come on!
Billy Vunipola.
Marshalled him pretty well, haven't they?
Here's Mako. Christie. Willems knocked off his feet. Tompkins swings it away to the left. Farrell thought about doing likewise, in the end chose the shorter route to Pifoletti. Davis quickly away to Tizard, and now this is nice, and Daly again threatening. Maitland. Nick Tompkins getting a little bit more involved. Farrell, skyward, comes down with a question mark on it. Lewington got there first, but Jackson got there most significantly. However, that's not a kick that he would choose to have again. However, there was a knock-on.
But it's a massive win for London Irish. The amount of phase that Saracens are having to go through, they've pretty much dominated this part of the field. Set pieces, phases, quick ball, but they've not been able to get through London Irish's defence. I mean, they've got the best tackle success in the league, fewest line breaks, and it's really standing up tonight as well.
They could just do with some ball, though, haven't they? Saracens have had 80% of the possession in the second half. In the first 10 minutes of the second half, London Irish have had to make over 50 tackles. That just adds up on the fatigue for the back end of the game. So they're defending admirably. They're really defending well. Couple of mistakes in behind, but you need some ball. You need to be testing Saracens physically as well, particularly with the way London Irish play.
Time on.
Robin Hislop is on for Mako Vunipola. Marco Riccioni has made way for him. Eduardo Becho, Argentinian who arrived in North London at the start of the season, but this is his Premiership debut. Played down the road for the Pumas against England last month. He's a handful. Excellent scrummager, excellent acquisition, and now a fully fledged Saracen in the Premiership. Sarah's getting the shove on. White going backwards, but finds Hassel Collins. Good. Maitland offering himself. Daly offering himself. Good, happy to take the ball into midfield where Bernard van Rensburg stopped him and then drew all sorts of trouble. And Rory Jennings over the top. Him and his beard getting the plaudits.
It's a brilliant kick chase, isn't it? It's exactly what London Irish have needed. Yes, you just mentioned it there, Ben, that they've defended really well, but they needed to get a positive defensive set further up the field and been able to layer that with this kick. Now they can start to attack.
Just looking where they're being tested, where they're having to tackle. Phil Empser, Hoskins, your two front rowers, your top tacklers, and you've got Pearson at the back, then you've got another front five forward. So Saracens really taking it out physically of this London Irish pack with where they're attacking and where they're forcing them to make tackles.
Chatting to Dan Vickers, part of the Saracens coaching team, down below us in a moment or two, but we'll let
all in front,
Dan watch where this might take Saracens. Davis with the big hoof. Dan very much part of the thinking behind Saracens' kicking game. That has put them under some defensive pressure. However, let's have a chat with Dan. Dan, we were wondering just before half-time what maybe your first 2 or 3 talking points would have been with the boys at the break. What areas did you cover?
Yeah, well, it was pretty obvious to us we were getting frustrated and probably taking it out on the wrong people, on the referee. A few things didn't go our way, the thunderbolt of the red card, but that was both sides, wasn't it? And body language was poor. So emotionally, we weren't sort of recovering like we'd like in those, probably the set piece scenarios. We were losing line-outs, getting some opportunity, but not quite executing. So tested moments in the first half, but so they were the main sort of things at half-time. Started well in the second half, but good side, playing a very good team, great evening. It's going to be right to the end.
Just tell us from your point of view as the kicking expert, what tactically, what do you have to do right kicking against this Irish back three that do carry so much threat?
Well, your accuracy of kick is so important, isn't it? With the likes of Collins and Loader bringing the ball back. If it's not accurate, you put under a lot of pressure in the phases that follow. So, and the accuracy is important. They put pressure on us. So that's one thing, I think. So trying to get that right when we do kick the ball, but also have options to to attack and play and get excited about what we want to do.
Great to have you with us, Dan. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Really like hearing from him. It's interesting. The first things they identified were nothing technical. It was about them emotionally and how they recover from some of those setbacks against a team that's really challenged them.
Interesting first scrum between the two new props. Biscotti and Bello. The referee's not letting them go at it again.
White to Jennings. Simmons. He's come on with real intent, as you'd have expected him to, just after the red card in the first half.
No,
Rotunu-Uawa. Simmons once more. Shot low by Beshel.
Advantage.
Smart footwork from another Argentinian, Gonzalez. Ball through, needs to be swept
16.
up, and is by Good.
Free shot from White, knew he had the advantage.
Exactly. It was a good defensive set, apart from rolling on the wrong side.
In the path of the 9.
Owen Farrell, his first up tackle off first phase, I thought was absolutely brilliant. Often scrutinised, but you want a textbook tackle, how to stop someone, bang, hits so hard, so low, and takes that all momentum. Both arms wrapped, nowhere for Jennings to go. Look at him. That emanates that type of passion, ferocity, competitiveness. And that's the type of fight, that's the kind of emotion that Saracens are going to have to display in the 23 minutes. Sorry, my maths was a bit slow there, Nick.
And if you ever watch Owen Farrell train, if you're ever lucky enough to watch Owen Farrell train, that's the intensity he trains at as well. If Mako Vunipola drops a ball, he'll run 25 metres to make sure that Mako knows about it. Now then, Paddy Jackson. He's keeping Saracens at arm's length, but for how much longer? Despite all of their possession over the last 10 minutes, they are, however, Irish points that are the next points. 22-17. Heading towards the final quarter. Jackson Ray is coming on for Hugh Tizard fairly shortly.
Taken in.
See him taking his tracksuit top off. Billy Vunipola.
Oh, was that a bit high?
Does he have a look?
Yeah, he's got it. Hurt himself.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I've got head contact. We're looking at falling player as well, though.
Okay, well, we'll let it play out.
Voice of Rowan Kitt, the running of Ben White, and now Bernard van Rensburg. Beshel was over the top, but it's still green ball, still Irish ball. Christie swept over it. Tom Pearson.
He's come around the side there. That should be a penalty, slowing things down.
Lucio Cinti leads the chase. Good with the catch. He did well, and Nick Tompkins. And now Robin Hislop back with Saracens after Wasps went under, and my goodness, there are some physical moments in this match.
Inside.
Ollie Hassel-Collins, everyone drawing breath where they can.
It's a good kick down the channel.
Backwards or forwards, anyone?
Went backwards. Off Owen Farrell, and out we go. Now then, we can have another look at the challenge on Billy Vunipola, I think.
Okay.
He's right.
Okay, Matt.
Time off.
On screen here.
Okay.
Trips, doesn't he, just before the tackle.
It's Rory Jennings.
Just looking at this
Trips
tackle here,
over.
trips.
Okay, we need to look at that. Foul play, yes?
We need to look at it.
He's falling. Direct head contact.
Jennings
just looking at the fact that White trips, he's going low to the floor.
So 23's arm is actually up and wrapping, yes?
23 is wrapping.
Have we got 23 bending significantly at the waist?
He is bent at the waist there.
Yeah. So we have head contact.
Just
so
another angle,
the question is, do we have foul play? That's not a deliberate trip for me.
No, I don't think it is. So it's a...
So can we freeze it on the point of contact, please?
Yeah, we'll freeze it on the point of contact.
It's whether we have a significant enough dip by the tackler to constitute it to be not foul play. So we need the other angle from the side, I would say. What's the feeling?
I think we can categorically say that it's
too high.
Shoulder on head.
The arm's wrapped,
Like
isn't
the ball
it?
carrier.
So we'll be able to look at the mitigation.
Okay, so I think the tackler can probably bend more at the waist, so we do have foul play, but we have a clear mitigating factor of the player falling into the tackle. So we're entering, because I believe it is high force, at red, and we're mitigating down to yellow.
Agree with that.
Which number do we have?
It's 23.
23.
And it's going to be a yellow
Captain.
for Rory Jennings.
Paddy.
Crikey, the
Paddy.
bar is set high to go
you
low
can listen if you want.
these days, isn't it?
Okay, so we do have head contact, and we think you could have gone lower in the tackle, so we do have foul play, but we have a mitigating factor, so it's not a red, which brings it down to a yellow.
I'm genuinely interested.
There is enough of an arm there for me.
Maybe, well, whoever of you wants to answer this, how much lower can you go when you know you're about to be in a collision with Billy Vunipola?
Well, they will say that unless you're absolutely sure, you have to be round the legs, and he's looking to hit him in the midriff there, and he drops. So again, these are the laws that the referees are constrained by for the right reason. We want to get rid of head contact. So if he does tackle Billy Vunipola around the ankles and the ball's still offloaded, well, that's where we're trying to get to. We're not trying to. Now, they will always be coached to do differently and to try and stop the offload and go higher, but when things change, because of the way the laws are refereed, we're going to lose players off the field.
I'd love to put a clock on the reaction time. Ben Earl and Rory Jennings had to change their body position. I think it's very, very difficult.
But what World Rugby is saying is always set at knee level. Which I know is unrealistic.
Meantime, at the other end,
okay,
Saracens
with the scrum
now with a man
go.
advantage.
Okay, Simmons.
14 against 13 for the time being, and Saracens setting themselves against a defence that's going to have to work even harder. It's an
You tackled that from the floor.
Rob Simmons has gone, and Irish are down to 12.
You've got to let him go off, but yeah, you can have the line up from there.
Rory
there was a player
Jennings
underneath it, and then
Rob Simmons yellow carded within 60 seconds of each other.
Wow.
20, sorry.
That's Simmons down the outside.
Okay, time on. 7 out, please.
I don't think Simmons drags that down. I think it's the player underneath him, Valemsa.
Saracens with a 2-man advantage. 14 against 12.
It's one stop.
Caelan Englefield is on the scrum half. He's trying to fill some holes that Farrell is trying to go through. There have got to be plenty of them now. A 15-man game being played by just 12 in green shirts at the moment. Billy Vunipola takes on Hoskins. Jackson Ray, not long arrived on the scene.
Backs have to reload, create some space.
Driving Beshel. Nearly there, the big boys. Going route one at the moment.
That's on the line. It's on the line. Look, it's on the line. It's held up. Goal line dropout. It looks short. Ball is over the line. Clearly held up.
And this is what I was saying. The backs have to promote themselves. In fairness to them, they got themselves into a good shape. It's obvious to go through this, but this is where London Irish want you. They wouldn't want to be stretched at all. You've got Nick Tompkins, Elliot Daly, Owen Farrell.
Yeah, let's play.
Alex Good. You put them in space when you're down to 3 men, down to 12. Saracens will be disappointed they didn't execute there.
Which is why the recent law amendments have been good. This goal line dropout now makes forwards, it's costly. It used to be, well, we'll just go back for a scrum on the line.
It's Caelan Englefield who got his body between Pifoletti and the try line. Tompkins, not entirely what he had in mind, but it might yet work. Oh no, just a bit too much on that from Lewington, who's 22. Hurt himself in the process.
22. Or a scrum where it was kicked from. Or a scrum where it's kicked from.
Jackson coming across,
okay,
marshalling
let's go
the ball.
then, please. 2, 3 and 6 replacements. 2, 3 and 6.
3 Irish changes are happening in the meantime. Chandler Cunningham South is coming on for Juan Martin Gonzalez. Kieran Parker is on for Oliver Hoskins. And most significantly amongst that lot, a debut.
You ready?
For Ignacio Ruiz. Adding to Irish's impressive list of adopted Argentinians. There he is, 22-year-old, signed from the Jaguares. Try scorer against Scotland last month. Irish going South American.
Another spiral bomb dealt with well.
Needs this to bite, and it does.
Irish still ahead. It's worth just having a look at the scoreboard every now and again, because increasingly it's hard to imagine how they are. Down to 12. Adam Coleman red, Rory Jennings yellow. Very soon afterwards, Rob Simmons yellow. And the man under his bobble hat with a bit on his mind right now, Declan Kidney. Saracens red card, by the way, Ben Earl, after half an hour, if you've just joined us. It's been a busy old match. Ignacio Ruiz learning very quickly that he doesn't have as much time in the Premiership to throw in as he might have expected.
They were messing around, trying to give the call to each other. No one was ready to jump.
Tifaletti, Saracens hook it. Here's Beshaw. Another test match Puma. Farrell, Tompkins. He's involved himself a bit more in this second half, Hughes Tompkins, hasn't he?
He has. He's so direct and often gets his hands free. That's his 7th carry of the game.
Oh, that's nice. Farrell away beautifully. Ray takes the challenge from Hassel Collins, and Irish and Bernard van Rensburg conspire to win it back. This is manful, wholehearted defence from London Irish at the moment.
We talk about height of tackle. Sometimes you just have to go high. That was a 2-on-1. Ollie Hassel Collins, he finds himself isolated, so he has to try and stop not just the man, but the ball. Treading water, sits, but then he has to try and wrap up Jackson Ray as he does. Secondary effort from Van Rensburg and Hassel Collins. That wins them the penalty and relieves a little bit of pressure.
Just when you men down, this is a bit of experience as well, but Munga, he commits and hits Billy Vunipola. That takes himself out of the defensive line. Now he can't recover, so he needs some good defence. If he doesn't bite quite so hard on Billy Vunipola, he can recover and they leave equal numbers on the outside.
Chunyawanga winning the line out. Van Rensburg continuing to ask questions in midfield. Pearson has all night.
So impressed with him. He just throws himself into everything, Pearson.
Englefield. Chunyawanga, only 22. Pearson.
You can see how they're running out of numbers, and Pearson finds himself isolated.
Oh, and Farrell's won it, and Elliot Daly has it. And there's a charging Malins on that left-hand side.
Tackle complete, shouldn't be able to get back to his feet there.
Good. Tompkins, Billy Vunipola. How on earth do you defend with just 12 players on the pitch? Irish are demonstrating how they would do it right now. Max Malins.
See London Irish been quite diligent in terms of when they try and put those two-man hits in and when they challenge the ball. There's a massive numerical advantage for Saracens. Can they keep hold of the ball long enough?
3 minutes left on the Rory Jennings yellow card. That's gone out on the fall from Tompkins. 4 minutes left on Rob Simmons' yellow card. If Irish could get through the next 4 minutes without conceding a point, what a boost that'll be.
Time on the yellow cards, Mike?
They're just trying to take the minutes when they can. A little bit of treatment here on the pitch, try and regather, get those line-out calls sorted. They will have practiced with shortened numbers, but
Time's off.
Maybe not with 2 yellow cards, both a back and a forward.
Rob Simmons waits.
12 men for 8 minutes.
How many minutes have they been down to 12 years?
8 minutes against
That was close, wasn't it?
Just reiterating
We good?
what Aid Hill.
Okay, let's set up and then we'll put time on.
Sounds intelligent.
Really worked this time.
Yeah, it's great. A genius. It's Ignacio Ruiz.
It's closed. Look at the gap there. There's no gap.
Chunyamunga, Englefield, Jackson.
Hold here, onside.
Oh, he's given that plenty of height. And Cinti, oh, how on earth did Lucio Cinti win
Ball
that?
is out.
What a take that was. And Ruiz has it back. And there are brilliant Argentinians wherever you're looking green at the moment. Here's Cinti again. Van Rensburg over the top, Englefield. And Irish's biggest crowd of the season so far finds its voice. They know what they're seeing here. Loader.
That's fine by 13, no problem.
Max Malins. Oh, Malins did well.
2 knock-ons. First by White, then by
loses
Green.
it.
You need these big efforts, don't you? Especially from your wingers. Paddy Jackson has just invited Cinti to go and get it. Gets up early, up on good. It's a fantastic take all the way through traffic as well. Those moments in a flash, wins you 40 metres, gets the crowd up on their feet. And the consequence of that, slowed the ball down.
No.
Been able to eat into this clock and look to get the cavalry back on the pitch.
That moment might make his highlight reel.
Set up first, and then
That
they got to
was
come to
outstanding,
you.
the way
Let's
he
go.
owned the space. And
Up
didn't
you come.
allow Good
Thank you.
to use his momentum to get through him. Really impressive take.
Isn't it funny how some teams, it might be the agents that they deal with, just the contacts that they have, but some teams dig mines. Irish are digging South American, Argentinian mines at the moment, aren't they? And coming up with gold.
Agent preview.
Time off. Come on. Time's off. Please, come here. Come here. No, come here. Listen, front rows, we meet over the mark. You guys need to take a bit off and you guys need to accept the hit. I'm not going to guess here, but we just need to meet and scrummage when the ball comes in. Thank you. Time on.
Well, Saracens' unbeaten start to the Gallagher Premiership season is 10 minutes away from disappearing up the chimney.
Time on. Crouch!
They've got that 2-man advantage, but for not much
Bind.
longer.
Set.
Englefield, Cinti. Ray battling over the top. Englefield to Chandler Cunningham South.
Smart game here from London Irish. Playing down that short side, trying to keep the pitch fairly narrow. They can't put any real width on this. With those 12 men, they'll be doing their best just to manage the clock.
Cinti, not surprisingly, Saracens working really hard over the breakdown. Knowing that they can afford to gamble here, they can afford to throw bodies in. There's so many extra ones on the pitch. Munga. Ruiz. Oh, they get it away. Cinti. Oh, it's an Irish throw. Oh, no, Saracens throw,
Time
apologies.
Off. First sin bin return.
Now then.
No,
here's the first bit of Irish good news. Rory Jennings is back on and is quickly followed by Rob Simmons.
It's remarkable because Nick, London Irish were down to 12 men for 8 minutes.
Amazing.
I want you sitting next to me when we're answering those stupid questions that fall out the Christmas crackers in a couple of days' time. Is there anything you don't know?
Is that an invitation? Can I come?
No. Josh Hughes. Pifoletti. 10 minutes left. And we're back to 14 against 14, and
use it.
somehow Saracens are still 5 points adrift. Well, that wasn't pretty, but they did the job. My goodness.
On the ball for
Takes
me.
on Malins, Englefield, Pearson. These are the games that Declan Kidney, Les Kiss have talked about all season.
17.
The ones that they've
Hold
had the opportunity to win and haven't
All
closed
onside.
out. Here's another opportunity, but they're up against the best team in the league at the moment. Chasing their own 10th win in a row. Oh, that's beautifully done by Jackson off Davis's kick.
How quickly can London Irish shift their mindset from playing really tight to actually now playing the space? It's 14 against 14 now, and there will be opportunities to get after Saracens.
Paul is so good at that, isn't he? Surviving the first clear out and then just looping over the top and getting one of those big mitts on the ball, wins the penalty. It's kickable.
First arriving player to the floor, number 8 in a strong
Farrell's
position
picked
on
the
his
ball
feet. Kick it goal.
The energy's been really good from London Irish in terms of getting in there. But you can see Sealing off, going down off his feet, and Vunipola still manages to get hands on the ball to say to the ref, look, even with the seal off, I've got hands on, you've got to penalise.
Okay. Isn't it mad, this league? When you look at it, you've got a team that are unbeaten against a team that are bottom. It feels, this league has a feeling of a cup season to it, where league position rarely counts for much because of how competitive it is.
To move within 2. Saracens within 2. 6 minutes to go. 6 minutes for 10 out of 10. And a club record 10th win at the start of the season. What a finish we're going to have here. We're going to motor into Christmas Day on the back of this.
26-point league difference between these two teams, and it certainly doesn't feel like that tonight, does it?
Inside.
Alex Good at fullback tonight. Walloped away by Davis. Loader. Loader up to halfway. Caelan Englefield. Jackson. Van Rensburg. Jennings. Hassel-Collins outside. Oh, Jennings just couldn't gather.
Just not lifted quite enough. It's in and around his knees with pressure on him, but just wanted to put a little bit more height on it.
It's great though, isn't it? Spreading that ball. Loader has a dabble. A bit of work done in front of him by Munya. And then, as you would, you try and find Ollie Hassel-Collins as and when you can, because he stands up in this tackle and gets his hands through. You're right, a bit more sympathy on that pass.
Let's go. Come on.
And it could have been a slightly different result.
The London Irish, it's all about can they hold Saracens down here. Just 4 minutes on that clock. And can't afford to be defending their own line within penalty range.
Oof. Ross McMillan, Irish's scrum coach, down below as he's doing his nut. And I think he thought that should have been an Irish penalty.
Get both sides going forward, okay? This side just went round, okay? Square.
Oliver
Both
Hoskins
sides
as
go
well.
forward,
Oh.
Well, a penalty from this scrum, and that could be the game, couldn't it? So everyone understands the importance of this.
Don't put it in unless it's stationary, okay?
Huge amount of friction.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Irish pushing, Saracens penalty. Danilo Fischetti wanted clarification of that.
He drops, doesn't he? He drops that left shoulder first before he goes. Whether that's what's been pulled up. Didn't hear the referee and what the decision was, but
step across. Is your mark?
Sorry, numbers, sir. Sorry, numbers.
Ezekwe, the last into the line out. Oh, it wasn't straight. Saracens do go on to lose this, though. Look at that set piece. Pearson, miraculous run. This for the win if he can get it away. It was brilliant from Pearson.
wide right, it's got to go right.
Ruiz with the initial chug. Then it goes, then they score. Cunningham South, listen to the roar. It's been a long time coming, but just before Christmas, it feels like Irish have discovered themselves.
Well, line-out-wise, defensively, Irish have been outstanding. They get the opportunity. Pearson, who's been an absolute tyrant for them, particularly when they were down to 12 men, with an amazing break. And then Cunningham South has to finish this. He takes it on. They've got huge numbers wide. As a result, Saracens all streaming out towards the touchline to try and cover it. And Cunningham South says, I'll run through you. You're not facing me. And I'll back myself. What a finish. And what a celebration.
Thank you.
It's been a wild game. Absolutely bonkers. And London Irish, for some of their deficiencies, ill discipline, have just stuck in this battle. They've picked apart Saracens' lineup for much of this game. Pearson, exceptional. Finish, equal.
Oh, this to make absolutely sure. Paddy Jackson's already contributed 17 points of his own tonight. 19 should see them home, and it should bring to an end the Premiership's last remaining unbeaten start to the season. Saracens looking for 10. Seems as if they'll pull just short at 9. Chandler Cunningham South with his first ever Premiership try, the reason why.
What a take. 20 again. He's good going forward to the ball.
Ball is out. Let go now!
Into the final 10 seconds. The pubs around here, and there are plenty of excellent ones, will be full of Irish warmth and conviviality tonight and over the next few days. And you remember those minutes when they were down to 12. Coleman's red card, the yellows for Jennings and Simmons. Saracens with the extra 2 could not make it count. And that is a win. This is a night that will live long in Irish memories. They've seen off Saracens. They've become the first Premiership side this season to see off Saracens at the end of quite a tale. Adam Coleman's red card, Ben Earl's red card in the first half, 14 against 14. Jennings and Simmons then yellowed in quick succession. Saracens couldn't take advantage, and in the end, Chandler Cunningham South wrote the final line in an extraordinary Christmas story. for the hosts Irish. They have beaten the Premiership leaders Saracens by 29 points to 20.